the Super Speedway.
Welcome to episode 193 of the Super Speedway podcast, recorded Wednesday, May 5th, 2021. I'm your host, Eric Young, and I am joined, as always, by my co-host, James Cush. No fancy audio this week, James. I did think about trying to pull the clip of the guy booing while Kyle Busch gave his emotional speech after winning the race on Sunday, but I was annoyed enough listening to it on Sunday that I didn't need to listen to it again. So
yeah, once is enough. We don't need to relive any of that.
I don't know who's running the soundboard at Fox, but maybe just kill that mic next time.
Well, if Kyle Busch wins and you're going to keep interviewing drivers at the start finish line, you're going to catch some stuff.
Yeah.
You're going to catch some words sometimes. So sometimes from Kyle himself.
Right.
So you never know what you're going to get.
Right.
Yeah.
So the Bushy McBusch race 400, I said last week that a Busch needed to win it, and Kyle got her done.
The Kyle Bushy McBusch race. Yeah. Yep. We should have known. The writing was on the wall. It's the Bushy McBusch race. It was his birthday, and last time he raced on his birthday, he won. So
yeah, 2 times he's won on his birthday.
2 for 2.
Yeah, I think only one other driver's done it, I think.
Yeah, there's been a couple of drivers who've won. Yeah, I don't have the list in front of me. Dang it. Yeah. You put me on the spot. But yeah, there's been a couple. I think Rusty Wallace is on that list. There's a couple other drivers who've won on their birthday, but I don't know if anybody's done it twice.
I thought they said on Sunday that at least one other driver had done it twice, but
probably like Richard Petty or something.
Yeah, probably. I can't talk about Kyle Busch winning without the
KFB.
There we go.
KFB.
Had to get that in there.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
So 17 seasons he has won at least one race, James.
Isn't that incredible?
That is incredible. It is incredible. It's got to be nice for him to get it done during the Fox half of the season. So
yeah, last year he took it down to the wire. And I know he said post race he needs to get his average back up to 5 per season, so he needs 10 this year. So he's he's got a little ways to go this year so far, but man, yeah, that was cool. I mean, not his day, I guess, honestly.
No.
But he was up front all day, and that's definitely a vast improvement from where he was last year. He was not running that high all that much last year. So got her done, man. Took advantage.
Yeah, 20 laps led on the day. Finished first in stage 1, second in stage 2, so he was there.
Yep, yeah. He doesn't rack up stage wins very often. So
no.
The fact that he got her in and now he's, doesn't really have to worry about the playoff picture other than everybody on the series is going to win a race before we're done.
When he was running top 5 and complaining about his car, I started to get a good feeling. That's
you're right.
When Kyle's running up front and still bitching, that is a sign that things are going to go well. So,
well, and I was listening to Dale Jarrett talk about Kyle a little bit, and he had something that was really kind of stuck out to me. He's like, Kyle Busch cares about stats. He always brings them up, and that's fine. Like that is something that motivates him. When you race as much as he does and you've won as much as he does, you're aiming for higher goals.
Yep.
He'll probably never catch David Pearson and Richard Petty in total wins. Like getting to 100 is going to be, I mean, there was a time, Eric, we thought maybe,
right.
It's such a long way to go still. But getting 17 straight seasons, he's one behind Richard now. He's there. He's with those guys for some of these records, that seem like they may be unattainable. I don't know if anybody's going to catch Kyle on this record. This is, I mean, gosh, Eric, he started winning races at the age of 20 in the Cup Series at the age of 19. Well, I guess technically the age of 19, his 1920 season. So,
and where would he have been if he wouldn't have had to stop in the Truck Series?
Yeah, he could have won earlier.
He won that partial season. Would that have changed his trajectory? And could he be a more winning driver at this point?
His racing reference page is just a monster. Like he's got that. It's so funny if you look at his truck stats and see 2001 at the age of 16, he's got 6 races, and then what happened with the rule change? We have to wait till 2004 for him to get back in the seat. But yeah, he Eric, I feel old a lot these days, but Kyle Busch winning a race 17 straight years makes me feel very, very old. Right. I don't know. How about you? I mean, would you?
Yeah, I'm a decent amount older than you, James, because you make me feel old sometimes.
Oh my gosh.
And yeah, I'm with you. It's crazy that, I mean, I'm sitting here looking at things like I've watched an entire generation of drivers now at this
Right.
point in my life.
Dale Jr., Jimmy Johnson.
Yeah. I mean, there's been an entire generation of drivers that have ran their rookie season and retired since I started watching NASCAR, and can remember watching NASCAR.
Yeah.
So the sport will definitely make you feel old. And then you sit there and think back to, the beginning of NASCAR and some of the early drivers, early winners and stuff. And you realize that, it's the sport's old, but it's not that old either. It doesn't,
right.
The history doesn't go back that far. I mean, we've still got people around. We're losing them, but we've got people around that were there at the beginning or toward the beginning. So
yeah, you said actually, I'm glad you said that, because Ryan Newman started his 700th race, and just to show you how young the sport really is, that is what was the number? Like 26% of all Cup races he's run.
Wow, that's
like,
crazy.
I was like, wow, that really put that in perspective, like how big of a number 700 really is.
Right.
There's only a handful of guys who've gotten that many starts.
Right.
Kyle's going to get to 600, I think, this year. And then you've got Kurt and Kevin, who've got to the 700 mark. But man, that's crazy. And you think about Kevin Harvick. We didn't even bring this up last week, Eric, but he's got more starts than anybody in the top 3 series all time.
Yeah.
Like that's I thought that was kind of a cool record too. So we're in the middle of some guys making some history, but none more than Kyle Busch. I mean, he's racking it up like nobody's business still.
Yeah, and I mean he's that guy that I think they said on Fox at the end of the broadcast that if there's one guy you don't want to give confidence to, it's that one,
Yep, and now they've got some time to continue to gel with a win in the bank.
Yeah, that's the thing. Now they don't have to work toward that win. Now that win's achieved. Now it's all about getting ready for the playoffs.
And as good as we know the Gibbs cars can be, I mean, Denny Hamlin keeps finding ways to not win.
Right.
But he should be winning, and he's so far ahead in the points. But we've got Truex with 2, and Chris Bell's already got 1, and it's just like, man, this team, now they've got a nice cushion. I mean, they're where they want to be. This is what Gibbs wants to do: get all their teams in the playoffs, and right now they're all locked in.
Yep. And James, guess what?
Yes, sir.
11 races.
Yes.
10 winners.
10 different. I know. We're gonna get there, man. We're gonna break that 7. We're gonna break that 16 number.
It's gotta. I mean, we're gonna be close. We're gonna be really close if we don't hit it.
Well, Denny's gonna win, and it's gonna negate it a little bit. But Eric, we've got what, 14, 15 races to go.
Yeah, I know. There's a lot of time
and
left.
a lot of road courses to go. So
yeah.
we've got some stuff gonna happen here.
Yeah.
So
you got Denny Hamlin,
cool.
You got Chase Elliott. Those two haven't won yet.
Harvick
hasn't won yet. Yeah, that's another good one.
Let's
Alex Bowman probably
just won.
Oh, that's
he just. Yep.
Yeah, that's right. He did just win. You're right.
He snuck one on us.
Who else we got here?
Who else? Yeah, Dylan, he's a possible winner. Austin's been running good.
We all predicted Bubba was going to win one this year.
Yeah, I don't know if that's going to happen.
Yeah, I know it's not looking as good anymore.
With all these road courses, I still don't want to count out Chase Briscoe.
Yeah,
I just think he might. He could. He's a great road course racer. He could steal one.
Well, and Tyler Reddick's another one. Finished 7th in this one.
Yeah, Cole Custer won a race last year. Eric Jones at Daytona is not out of the realm of possibility.
James,
so,
how about Chris Buescher? I mean, those Roush cars have been running decent this year. And Chris Buescher comes home 8th.
Yeah, we're gonna talk. I think we're gonna talk about Chris Buescher a little more here in a little bit. But they've been running really well. The Roush cars are not bad. They were. I don't know what happened to Newman on Sunday, but he battled back.
Right.
But yeah, no, the Roush cars have been good. De Benedetto's actually been running really solid. So yeah, there's guys who can definitely win races. I mean, Almirola can still win at some places if you give him a good opportunity. So yeah, we've got it's going to be, and we have to keep monitoring this. Usually, Eric, I think we don't talk playoffs a whole heck of a lot. But the way this is panning out, we're going to be talking playoffs every week for a little bit here until it calms down.
Yeah.
Until somebody like Truex or Hamlin start racking up multiple wins here, it's going to be top of mind. But yeah. I mean, Chase Elliott, Kevin Harvick, they combined for 9 wins for Harvick and 5 for Chase last year. So yeah. And Hamlin, he had 9 last year too, didn't he?
Yeah, they showed the stat at the beginning of the race on Fox that I think it was at the beginning between those there's 3 or 4 drivers that haven't won yet, and the number of races that
over half
accounts
the season.
Yeah.
So that's a lot, man. It's going to be, it's something to watch. I'm excited. As much as I love dominance, I love parity as well.
Yeah.
So I mean, to have parity in the Cup Series, we haven't seen this.
See, I don't love dominance, but I respect it.
Yeah, dominance is like you have to like bend your knee to dominance sometimes.
Yeah.
But parity's fun. That means everybody's got a chance, which is great.
Speaking of dominance, James.
Yeah.
132 laps led. Second in stage 1, first in stage 2. Kyle Larson comes home 19th.
And he ruined my fantasy day.
Yeah.
He was kicking himself pretty bad, but Eric, when you've got a win in the bank, you can be a little bit riskier on restarts, I guess, but he shouldn't have been in that position, and there's reasons why he was in that position, but still he got I guess the short end of the stick a couple of times, but some of that's their own doing as well. So
are we over the cookie cutter hate at this point? I mean,
they've been pretty solid.
Is it because of the car, James? I know we want to rip on this car, but is it because of the car? Is it because these tracks are finally just becoming good? But because I mean, we loved Las Vegas. We think Kansas has been really a great track.
I think
this race. Hold on, sorry.
No, go ahead. No, go ahead.
This race we had the one guy dominate, but one of the things that just fascinated me, and this to me is the package, is just the closing rate and the speed of passes. I guess it reminded me of like fighter jets, the way they would just somebody get a run and they just shoot by somebody and then go back the other. I mean, it was intense and it was exciting. It was a really fun race to watch, despite the fact that we had somebody dominate almost the whole thing.
Yeah. And I think the cautions played out in a way that definitely beefed that up.
Yeah.
But restarts are nuts. Restarts are nuts because you let off the throttle any little bit and you're down 5 spots.
But I don't think you can blame the aero package. I mean,
it's not.
It's some of the credit, but if you watch the truck race the night before, the restarts there were just as crazy. And yeah, the trucks package is similar. I mean, this package is probably most similar to the trucks package than any other package that we run or have run, but it's not the same. And to see them doing the same thing, essentially, it points to the fact that this isn't because of the aero package that this is happening. It's because of the track and the aggressiveness.
Well, Kansas has always been underratedly a good track. And I don't know if Vegas is just wearing in, but Vegas was very good.
Yeah.
So yeah, Eric, I don't know. Maybe these teams got a little bit of a better grasp on the rules package too. I mean, last year was pretty wonky. So
well, I mean, we hated cookie cutters for so long, but I'm bummed that we lost Chicago Inc. because that's put on a great show the last few years. Mm-hmm. Yep. Both both Kansas and Las Vegas have been great. Kentucky's the standout. Kentucky's still terrible.
And I know Michigan usually gets a hard rap, but we love.
Yeah, but Michigan's not a cookie cutter though. To me,
no, that's
Michigan's an original. You can call California a cookie cutter if you want to, but Michigan's an original.
Well, that being said, I'm excited to go to Darlington this week because I love it so much.
I don't know. Darlington hasn't put on as good of a show as I think we've seen in the past, but we got full horsepower this weekend too.
Yeah. So. Oh man. Yeah. Yeah. I'm excited about this. We'll talk about that I think in a little bit because I love Darlington, even though they ruined the throwback weekend, but that's a whole other thing. Eric, before we move to the tire caution, though, I had one quick point I wanted to bring up. So Kyle Larson's 2021 season is starting to mimic a season from the past, a championship season from the recent past. Can you name who I am thinking of when I think of this Kyle Larson season right now?
No.
Okay, so in 2014. A driver named Kevin Harvick left a whole bunch of races off of I guess they got away from him, right?
Okay.
Do you remember this? Like
no,
they had
I don't.
That team was brand new and they came to the track every freaking week flying. And I'm getting like whiffs of Kevin Harvick's 2014 season from Kyle Larson. That team is bad fast. I would say the fastest car in the sport right now, just eye test. Can go out there and win every week, but for whatever reason, they're leaving wins off the board. So I just wanted to point that out because I was getting kind of a feeling of, man, this just feels like 2014 to me a little bit, and I want to keep monitoring it as we go along. The more that he has the fastest car at the track every week. Now he's had a couple of races where he's just been out to lunch. So,
right.
But neither here nor there. I want to see. I'm gonna kind of want to see how this goes because I feel like that guy should have 4 wins right now.
Yeah,
and he's just leaving him off the board.
That's true. Yeah, that's an interesting take, and definitely shows how big of a threat he is going toward the end of the season.
Yeah, I just don't. Yeah, and the way these playoffs are, I just don't want to. Let's not count him out because he's letting some races slip away. They're still going through a lot of growing pains. I guess is really my comparison because in 2014, as you know, Eric Harvick finally left Richard Childers, came over to Stuart Haas, got teamed up with Rodney and those boys, and they brought a rocket ship for a couple of years to the track, but. They left a lot of wins on the table in 2014 and 2015, but we're able to get that championship. So I think, Larson may be flying under the radar, or maybe he's flying over the radar. I don't know, but he's somewhere in there. So it's just kind of going to be. It's fun to me to watch this team, go through these growing pains because they really do show. I mean, on Sunday. The fact that he lost this race is not a big of a deal to me because they showed their dominance. It's there. It's just they got to find a way to finish it.
Right.
So kind of keeping it together. I mean, he's definitely the best car in the Hendrick stable.
Oh yeah,
and
definitely.
And it's that's got your Cup Series champion on that roster too. So
right.
But yeah, just kind of fun to watch. I don't know. I'm really enjoying this Larson season so far. It's just very intriguing. So I just wanted to bring that up. Now we can.
Before we get to the 1,000-pound gorilla,
yeah.
I just wanted to point out there's some names we like to run through here and talk about some of the guys that.
Yes.
We mentioned Chris Buescher with an 8th place finish. Daniel Suarez continues to impress. 11th place finish for him.
Yes.
How about Michael McDowell in 13th?
Yeah, solid day for him.
A guy that we expect to do well on the super speedways, but not so much on these 1.5 miles, and he's right there. Ross Chastain finally puts together a decent day with a 14th place finish. So good on those guys to get some decent finishes out of the day. And
yeah, I mean, you mentioned Tyler Reddick as well. I mean, that was probably the one of the better ones, and I know he had his issues on pit road, but recovered, ran fast. DiBenedetto, we mentioned him, top five again. And honestly, we should shout out Kevin Harvick. Circumstances are what they are, but he's finding a way to get top 5s and top 10s. He's just
right there.
I know, it's weird. It's almost like we're undervaluing him a little bit.
Yeah.
Even though
he's the closer, man. He's going to come. He's going to be there when it matters.
I know the speed's not there, but that's just a really good team that's been together for a long time.
This is the type of season that Kevin Harvick wins a championship, not the one where he wins 9 races.
Yeah, like they've got to find that speed, and they're going to be right there.
They don't have to find much. They just have to find a little bit.
Yeah, I mean,
and by the way, Busch Light for the Farmers Ford. Man, that car was sweet. I like that.
Yeah, it's a good looking car. That car won last year. I like that car.
It's a good
car. Brad Keselowski third. He had a great car too. I like that Verizon 5G.
I'm a fan of seeing Verizon on the cars because I've been a Verizon guy for years, and it annoyed me that they got pushed out of the sport because of Sprint. So it's nice to see some Verizon cars on the track.
Stick it to Nextel.
Yeah, exactly. So we mentioned Chris Buescher, 8th place finish. Might have been a better day though, James, should things have fallen a little differently.
Oh man.
Let's talk about the caution. All right.
The tire caution.
So tire gets loose on pit road. I believe it was Almirola's tire, wasn't it?
Reddick.
That's right.
Yep.
Almirola hit it.
Yeah, it wobbled out there. Look,
I don't remember.
It was a whole thing, and then it just kind of sat.
So green flag pit stops, tire rolls out onto pit road. In history, NASCAR has thrown a caution for this because they don't want crew members running across pit road. It's a safety issue.
Look up that YouTube video if you want to see why they don't want crew members running out in the grass.
Now, to be fair, I believe in recent memory, this was denied on Door Bumper Clear this week, but I believe in recent memory that they have done this once before, where the tire is rolled across pit road and they've held the caution until pit stops finish. That being said, it was a time when everybody was pitting at the same time. Somebody wasn't trying to stretch it. So
playing chicken with NASCAR.
Yeah, exactly. So Chris Buescher's team stretches it, tries to hold out, waiting for the caution to come out, finally ends up pitting, and then NASCAR decides that the tire is dangerous enough to throw a caution.
Ooh, boy.
Yeah, so let's man, I wanted to pull a clip for this. Let's go over NASCAR's explanation.
Go for it, man.
It doesn't matter what NASCAR says.
It really doesn't.
I was gonna pull the Rock's audio for this. It doesn't matter.
No,
I don't care what their explanation is for this. This was a horrible, horrible call.
It was.
The thing is it's either a safety issue or it's not. And as soon as you hold the caution flag, you now are manipulating the caution. You are manipulating the race. This is the thing NASCAR says they don't do.
Which NASCAR fans are used to now.
Exactly.
Because we manipulate the races with our stage breaks and our competition cautions and all this other stuff.
I mean, I just don't get... If I was Chris Buescher's team, I would be so pissed about this. And
I would too.
The only way, James, the only way I would be okay with this call... Sort of. I still wouldn't be okay with it because to me, it's a safety issue or it's not a safety issue. If it's not a safety issue, don't throw the freaking caution. But the only way I would be all right with it is if NASCAR would have gotten on the radios to the teams or gone to the spotters on the spotter stand and said, hey, we're going to let the pit stops finish out before we throw the caution. That way, Chris Buescher's team didn't try to stretch the strategy.
Yeah.
You know, or actually had the option to not do that. They didn't do that. I can confirm they didn't do that because, again, Door Bumper Clear this week, they talked about it. Those spotters did not hear anything of the sort.
Yeah.
I don't have anything else to say about it. It just, this frustrates me to no end. I don't believe it was a safety issue.
I do. I believe it is a safety issue.
I mean, the size of the grass there, the chance of a car getting there is pretty slim.
Yes,
but again, I don't think it was a safety issue, but I think they should have thrown a caution for it because there's enough of a safety. How much more do those tires weigh?
Eric, these cup cars find a way.
That is true.
Whenever we say it's not a dangerous spot, it finds a way.
I'm still fascinated we have tracks like this one where there's no wall between pit road and the track.
You know what, Eric? We have a real life example of cars finding their way. Remember when we covered Michigan a couple years ago, Xfinity Series, and you were down taking pictures?
Yep.
And I can't remember the truck, but a truck came
right in your... It was a Thor Sport truck. I don't remember. I think it was the 13. I don't remember who was driving it, though.
It came right in your wheelhouse. And I'm like, Eric is right there. And I'm like, I've never seen a car or a truck go down that far. Yep. These cars find a way, man. I know you, I mean, listen, there's a very small percentage chance that thing was getting hit, but by God, these cars find a way.
Well, and
they have hit some weird stuff.
I'm going to back off on my statement, James, because if you look up Steve Park, Atlanta, and look at his crash that he had in qualifying that he got hurt on.
Yep.
That car went the same path where that tire was. Yes, it's a different track, but
Eric, Mark Martin at Michigan.
Right?
Remember that?
Yeah.
We had to change the way the garage entrance is at all the tracks because of that one.
Yeah.
Because he pierced his car with the wall. Kyle Busch breaking his ankle at Daytona.
Mm-hmm.
That was a weird spot to hit.
How about Mark Martin going through the guardrails at Talladega and almost
into the campground.
Almost being in the campground, you know?
I mean, these cars find a way, Eric. They really do. And if it's a caution at the moment that tire stops, it's a caution 17 laps later.
Yeah.
You call the caution when that tire stops so you can get it out of there.
I get the not wanting to give an unfair advantage to the 17 team, but every time a caution comes out, somebody gets an advantage.
Yes, somebody's going to take advantage of it. That team made the right call. I'd be upset with them too.
As soon as you hold that caution, now you're favoring somebody and punishing somebody else. And you shouldn't be making that decision in the tower. That should be something that happens by fate.
A caution is a caution. It's not a balls and strikes thing.
And it was brought up on DBC. And I will say it. I said it off air. I will say it on air. What happens if that was the 9 car that was stretching it? Does NASCAR make that same call? I don't think they do.
I don't know. I don't know what they were thinking there. I will say, Eric, I don't agree with what I'm about to say, but I'll throw this one at you.
Yeah.
What if they close pit road, get the tire, and come back?
Yeah.
In that instance, would that have been acceptable?
I mean, no, because it's unsafe for the tire to be there. It's unsafe for a crew member to be there.
Exactly. That's why I say that. I had heard that one. I don't think I agree with it, but I wanted to throw it out there because I had heard it. But yeah, man, if it's a caution, it's a caution. Don't hold the flag. I don't know. It was a bad call. Bad call by the tower.
I think the only thing that irritates me more about it, James, is that they continue to Noah Gregson it and act like they made the right decision.
It was a poor choice of words.
Yeah.
I think they sent the wrong guy out to talk about it.
Yeah.
Stepped on my ding dong there.
There you go.
Yeah, I don't know. I wish that things would have been different for Chris Buescher, because that caution changed the whole race. I mean, it ruined Kyle Larson's day. Ruined a lot of days.
Yeah.
Kyle Busch probably had, but the competitors were happy about it. So I guess, I don't know, they weren't the ones getting screwed.
Right.
So they were the ones getting saved. I mean,
I was happy the caution came out. I just think it should have been 17 laps sooner.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't believe they did it. But
the longer they went without throwing the caution, James, I'm like, there's no way they're going to throw it. There's no way they're not going to throw it now.
Yeah, I thought they were going to let it sit there. I'm like, well, I'm like, well, I actually said to myself, well, this is going to be interesting for me and Eric to talk about. We're just going to leave debris in the grass like that.
Now 3 years ago at Kentucky, we were in the running of probably the most boring race that's ever been run in NASCAR history, with Martin Truex dominating.
Oh, I remember that one.
And the sprinklers came on in the infield, and they didn't throw the caution for that either. And I think they should have thrown the caution for that one too.
What was the Coke 600 he dominated too that we could have used some sort of a that Coke 600 that he dominated? I think that was the beginning of stage racing.
Yeah.
That was so bad.
Oh, that was awful.
But I don't know what else we could say about the tire caution.
I don't think there's anything else to say. I guess the only thing we're gonna talk about the trucks here, so I'm gonna throw out here. We had a caution in the Truck Series race the night before where Jennifer Jo Cobb broke, tried to pull into one of the openings. The car was truck was maybe a foot outside of the opening, but they won't let NASCAR officials or anybody go out and push the car in. The car really wasn't in any danger, yet we threw caution right away for it. This is the type of inconsistent stuff that drives me crazy with NASCAR.
It's a caution.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
But we do it all the time. We have a driver spin and do a complete spin coming onto pit road, and we don't throw a caution. We get somebody that gets sideways on the backstretch and we throw a caution. I mean, I know I worked in as a race director at a much smaller capacity than this. I know it's not that easy.
It's not. Right.
And it's really easy to critique after the fact, but I think this is one they got wrong, and I think this is one that they continue to say they got it right, and I don't agree with it. But now the precedent's been set, James.
It has. It has.
Don't change it now.
No.
Apparently
not. Let the cycle run through, apparently.
Yeah.
That's how we're going to do this from now on.
Yep.
So,
the first person to get screwed on this one because they go back to the old way. Everybody's
I don't know, man. Jeez.
Yeah. So. All right. Truck Series the night before. KB, man.
KFB again.
Yep.
KFB.
There we go.
The weekend sweep. How many weekend sweeps is this for Kyle Busch now?
That's a lot. He's got a lot of brooms.
He got a lot of brooms.
It wasn't more brooms than the Wicked Witch of the West.
Yeah, that's for sure. I wonder how many she has. Maybe one.
I don't know. Yeah.
But he's got a lot. But no, that's cool. Kyle racks up 2 wins on the weekend. He's 16 or 17 ahead of Richard Petty now. So
yeah,
and the all-time NASCAR wins list, I guess, if you want to include them all. So there you go.
Leads 59 laps, wins all 3 stages and the race, or both stages in the race.
Yep. Ross Chastain was good too. A couple of Cup guys up there running for the win, but nobody was touching Kyle. He was gone.
Yes, he was. Sheldon Creed did lead 41 laps in this one, ended up 32nd. And then, the only other guys that led double digits was Johnny Sauter with 13 laps led, and John Hunter Nemechek with 16, and John Hunter just couldn't keep Kyle behind him. So, not much else to say there. Kyle gets it done. Could anybody beat Kyle?
Nope.
There you go.
Man, this race had a couple of Cup guys in it. I'm looking through the field. I had forgotten that Chase Briscoe ran this race as well. So a couple of guys getting some shots at the trucks.
Yep.
But well, there you go.
Yep, there you go.
There's your truck report. Kyle Busch, dominant.
Yeah.
Done.
That one wasn't real exciting either. I love Kyle, but he does know how to stink up a show.
He stinks up a show more than most. That's for sure.
All right. Well, with that, let's talk some news, James. Not a very big news week at all. We got a big announcement today.
Yeah, one that we've been expecting. Actually, I think one of the reasons we held the pod for today, I guess, was next gen.
Yeah,
next gen car.
Let's say that's why we held the pod for today.
Hey man, I throw you the alley-oop, you gotta dunk it home.
We know what the next gen car is going to look like. Well, sort of. We know what the body's going to look like. We don't know where the numbers are going to be. But yeah, we got to see the cars. What do you think, James? What do you think of the looks?
I think they look great. It's come a long way. Like one of the things, one of my bugaboos was the rims. I had no problems with the car. Yeah. I thought the tires looked big, but I mean,
I can't wait to see the first pit stop with these things, man.
Yeah, it's gonna be cool, man. I'm ready for it now. I'm kind of glad the pandemic hit in a way to give us an extra year for this, because this was supposed to be next gen year. But right. I mean, the cars look cool. They presented them really well. It was kind of cool to see all three manufacturers get together for the big reveal today, which I thought was kind of neat. It's big industry celebration of NASCAR, and there's a lot of positives going into this thing. I mean, we got to see so much today. All the manufacturers who are going to help put these cars together, and I'm excited about it, man. I'm a little bit more juiced than I've been now that we've got real cars, and I guess we're racing them in iRacing tonight. So we've got the next gen cars already on iRacing.
So who wins this one, James?
Oh man,
which one looks better?
I think
there's only one right answer.
The right answer is the Mustang.
Yeah, that Mustang looks sweet, man.
But they doctored that bad boy up. That wrap was slick. The wheels were slick. Like Ford went all out to make the Mustang look good. I still think the Camaro will look better with the team's branding and everything on them. But that Mustang,
I've become a Ford guy, and
that Mustang is slick.
Yeah. I'm trying to NASCAR media site. The photos aren't loading. Probably every media person is trying to download.
They tried out the poor Camry, and it's just it's like a 90s sedan out there next to the ponies. Yeah. And I feel bad for the Camry sometimes.
Yeah. Why don't we run the Supra in the Cup Series too?
I thought there would be a chance that we'd see the Supra today. It's
because Toyota's the only one who's still trying to sell a sedan.
I know.
Everybody else is just giving up on sedans, and they're all selling grocery getters and sports cars.
Well, we'll be racing Chevy Equinoxes in the Cup Series before too long.
Right.
So, yeah.
So, James, what's your complaint about the next gen car?
you know my biggest complaint.
What don't you like about the next gen car? And how did it sound today?
The sound, so what I don't like about the next gen car is that every time I hear it on the track, it sounds like a flat fart. That's been my stance, and I'm sticking to it. You can't take me off the hill.
All right.
Are you gonna do this to me?
I'm gonna try and do it. We'll see how this goes. We might just abandon this because I'm just playing straight from YouTube. But I wanted to give James a little test here and see if James can tell the difference between the next gen car and the current car.
Yes. This is gonna be bad for my branding.
So here's some audio, James, and I want you to tell me, is this the current car or the next gen car?
That's next gen.
Okay.
That's next gen. Yep.
Okay. That's next gen. Let me find.
What was I right?
Hold on.
Oh, that's next gen.
What's that?
That's next gen.
Okay.
That's next gen.
Let's see. Let's do this. Hang on. This is on board.
That's current.
Okay. And then one more here. Another on board. Oh, hang on. Let me get you a better spot on this.
Next gen. I'm guessing on that one. I actually don't know.
All right. So you've been proven wrong. First one was current car. It was actually now
after I heard the second video, I had a feeling I got the first one wrong. That second one's next year.
The first one was 2019 Daytona 500 qualifying.
Okay. But that second one,
the second one was next gen. The third one was on board with Eric Jones in the next gen car. And
Okay,
the
so I got
last
2.
one was on board with Timmy Hill in a Sprint Cup Series car, Gent 6.
So I got 3 out of 4.
You got 1.
No, I got 3 out of 4.
No, you said the first one was next gen, which it wasn't.
Yep.
The first one wasn't next gen. Yeah. Then you said the second one was next gen, and that was correct.
Yes.
And the third one you said was current, which was next gen.
I don't think I did.
I
Play
think
it back. Everybody who's listening to this, rewind it. Make sure I got it right.
You were wrong. You were wrong. I'm telling you. And then you said the last one was next gen, and it wasn't.
No, I said the last one was current.
Whatever. I'm gonna go back.
I got 3 out of 4.
Whatever. Anyway, I don't think they sound as that. I will say that one, the one is this one.
Yeah, there it is. Listen to that.
That one sounds like when you stick the baseball card in the spokes of your bicycle.
There you go.
Hold on. This is the one I wanted though. This clip.
See, it's just got like. I don't know.
I don't know. All right.
It doesn't whine. You know, like that's the best way I can describe it. Like the current car strains.
Yeah.
The next gen car doesn't strain.
I think when you put 40 of them on the track at the same time, you're not going to notice the difference.
Well, they're going to fine tune the engines.
Here's
how
Here's how I know you're not going to tell the difference, James, because I went to Belle Isle and watched the IndyCar series on a road course. And you know what an IndyCar sounds like. They sound significantly different.
Yeah.
If I closed my eyes on the road course at Belle Isle, I could not have told you that those were IndyCars versus NASCAR.
Eric, we all have our quirks. Just let me have this one.
Okay, here, I'll give you this. If they leave the numbers where they are, will you quit bitching about the sound?
Oh. Yeah, I'll make that deal.
There you go.
I'll make that deal. That's a deal. NASCAR, if you're listening, leave the numbers low and I'll stop whining.
So I was talking a little bit off the podcast. You know, I think this is a huge deal. And I mean, I know people realize it's a big deal, but I don't know if people realize how big of a deal this car is. To me, this is the biggest step forward. This is bigger than the car of tomorrow. Everything that the car of tomorrow did to advance safety in the Cup Series, this car is doing that and more to advance into the future. You know, we're not talking about safety as much, but okay, so James, this has a 5-speed transmission and it's a sequential shift.
Yeah.
We've never seen that.
Yeah.
This is a single lug wheel, bigger wheels, wider wheels, lower profile tires, independent rear suspension. You know what that means for all these road courses we're running?
Oh, it's going to be wild, man.
That's huge. That completely changes the way this car is going to run. There's a lot of influence from V8 supercars in this package. I'll credit Matt Weaver. Great article with Auto Week about some of that there was a lot of influence, that NASCAR spent a lot of time in Australia with the V8 supercars to learn what they were doing and bring a lot of that here. And I like that because I personally think the V8 supercars are spectacular. I think they race great on a road course.
Yeah.
And, you know, I think that's about the only series that races better on a road course than NASCAR does.
Well, NASCAR's going to, and if NASCAR's going to continue to tweak towards a road course style,
right,
street course, and a Chicago street course.
Well, that's the thing. Everybody is worried about these street courses with the stock car. Well, guess what? It's not the same stock car next year, guys.
Yeah, it's going to be different. It's all going to be different.
So,
and it's going to put some more drivability in the driver's hands.
Yeah.
You know, I think the current packages we have right now, we see limitations to the driver's abilities.
Yep.
With everything you named, you're talking about putting more into the driver's hands, and that's what we want. We want our superstars to be superstars,
right?
And we want to see that.
NASCAR really played up in their announcement today about, you know, the resemblance to the current cars on the road and all that. I don't give a crap about that.
I don't care
stuff.
about that. Yeah, I want to see cars race.
I know that's important to some people. I think it's less important than. I think the people that are not watching NASCAR, and I use air quotes, the people that are not watching NASCAR for that reason aren't coming back because the cars look more like stock cars.
Yeah. Yep.
So I don't care about that stuff, but you know, there's room in this for.
Well, if you do, Eric, if you do care about that, guess what? This current car that's coming is gonna lead to more possibilities for new manufacturers. So
well,
if you do care about that, that could be coming.
And like, that's something that is the next step to this is hybridization. Currently, really only Dodge is the only manufacturer that could enter without some sort of hybrid motor.
Yeah.
And Dodge is, 2013 was the last time they raced, so they're way behind in the technology. That's not happening. Yeah. So when we can switch to hybrid technology, and then you get beyond. So right now the issue with this low horsepower thing that we hate is the fact that we don't have any oomph. We don't have that acceleration.
Yeah.
You put the hybridization in it, now you change all that. You can have that quick acceleration. You can put that back in the driver's hands. You can do so much with it. And again, it just takes you a step closer to the future.
Yep.
And it's just, this is a really, really, really big deal. And I think it's good. I think it's great. I'm excited for it. I hope it turns out well. But it's good to see NASCAR's not sitting on their heels. We could very easily continue running this Gen 6 car, James. There's no reason that we need to switch from this car that we have other than progress, and we're doing it.
We want to save on costs. We want to get more people involved in NASCAR, and this is going to do that on the business side and the fan side.
And I was not on board with composite bodies when they switched in the Xfinity series, but watching these cars brush the wall and hit the wall and be fine, I'm all on board, man. I want to see that. I want to see us run the wall at Homestead with a Cup car and not scrape the wall and now we've got a flat tire.
Exactly.
It's good stuff. So, and all around great deal.
Yeah. Big news today. It's the future. This is we've seen the next gen car quite a bit, but this was another step for the future of the sport. It's exciting. And I hope the fans out there are just as excited as I think the industry is. I think this is probably the most excited the industry's been in a long time.
Yeah. And if we can just fix the aero issue where cars can't run behind other cars in the corners, that's the only thing we got left, man.
Exactly. Yeah.
If we can fix that, we're golden.
Yep. I like it.
After positive news, we talk some negative, some sad news. First of all, Eric McClure, former NASCAR driver, probably best remembered for some hellacious wrecks. The one that stands out to me is the one at Talladega where he went full speed into the inside wall. Fortunately hit a safer barrier, but still ended up injured from that. Eric McClure passed away this week. So very sad to hear that.
Yeah. Young man, 42.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's crazy. I'm almost 40 this year.
And now and he had some health issues. It's not, we don't know what the cause was on that one. It's just sad regardless. Younger people passing away. Not good.
Yep.
Yeah. But that sucks.
And then Bobby Unser as well passed away.
Three-time Indy 500 champion. For those who don't know that name, unfortunately, I never got to see Bobby really, race. But you're talking about legendary, a legendary auto racing. Like he's in there with the AJ Foyts and Mario Andretti's from this, from that era. So it's too bad. But again, like you said, Eric, we go from good news to sad news. It's just. Unfortunately, that's part of it.
Yeah, the Bobby Unser thing. We're at that point in these, the history of these sports that.
Yeah, you
losing
said it
people.
earlier.
Yeah.
You said it earlier. We're relatively a young sport. Open wheel's definitely a little bit older than stock car, but still, we've got a lot of legends out there. We're very fortunate with as dangerous as the sport was back then to have people like Bobby Unser be around for so long and can share in the history.
Yep.
So it stings to lose them, but at the same time, you're glad that you got to, especially because it was so dangerous what they were doing. Those open wheel cars are so dangerous. My gosh, open wheel cars are dangerous now.
I was gonna say they're still so freaking dangerous. That wreck at the start of the Texas race on this weekend.
Yeah, they really were putting their life in their hands every time they drove those things back in the day. So the fact that he was able to have a fruitful life and live to be an old man, and we could celebrate his 3 Indianapolis 500s instead of saying what could have been. So that's pretty cool if you think about it that way.
Right. Speaking of legends, James.
Yeah, man.
Legend in our sport, Dale Earnhardt Jr. returning to the track this year.
He'll be back.
I think a lot of people, myself included, were expecting it to be Martinsville because that was where he wanted to run. Yeah. But looks like it's going to be Richmond in the fall.
He'll be running Richmond again, and I wouldn't put it past him to win that thing.
Yeah,
he could do it.
Last time he was right there. Didn't he finish like third in that race?
He led a ton of laps that day. Yeah, he was up there quite a bit. Now he's a few years removed since then. Now this will be his fourth Xfinity race since retiring. So
right,
pretty cool. And his daughter had her birthday this weekend. Speaking of Dale Jr., that was pretty cool video. Go search that one out. That was just kind of cool.
The other one that was really cool, speaking of cool social media videos this weekend, Samantha, Busch, and Brexton hanging out for Kyle, waiting to congratulate him with his own victory lane celebration in his driveway coming home. And Kurt hiring the mariachi band at the
funny dude
at the airport was good too.
When Kurt tweeted out he was still waiting and the mariachi band was playing and the camera pans over and Kurt's sitting there with the maracas just shaking them. I thought that was so good. So that was fun.
It's good stuff.
Yeah, I enjoyed that. Happy birthday, Kyle.
Yeah, Garrett has actually used up both of
How's that car? Is that next gen or current gen, James?
Oh, I heard the name Jarrett, so I want to say
this is
current gen.
67.
It's iRacing, man.
Oh, geez, just iRacing right
so
now.
So it's the next gen car, Darlington.
Oh man, I heard Jarrett, so I was gonna go with I was like, I'm just gonna say Jarrett. Okay, Dale Jarrett.
Timmy Hill is leading right now, James.
Oh, the guy they wouldn't let race, huh?
Yeah, William Byron is second.
The first ever next gen car race, the official. Yeah, there you go.
Yep, there you go. More
speaking
news.
Of video games.
Yeah,
Eric.
Speaking of video games, good transition.
Nice.
NASCAR is released on Rocket League.
Yeah, tomorrow they come out.
All right.
So I'll. So my plan is to actually buy one of the packs.
Okay. Do you have to buy it?
Yeah, it's like a $5 purchase or something. So I'm gonna pick one of the cars or something. And I'm gonna do it. I'm just gonna do it because I have friends who play Rocket League, and I show up sometimes. So I'll I'll be on there.
See, I have it. I think I got it for free.
It is free. Yeah, it's free to play.
PlayStation.
Yeah, it's free to play.
And on the Switch, maybe it was.
It's actually not not fun as I make it sound. It's fine.
Yeah, it's fun.
It's cool.
I don't actually play with people, James. I always play against the computer because
we have a group of friends. Group of friends of ours who play, and one of them actually listened to the show. Taylor, hey. It's fine.
I don't care about this, but I mean, it's cool to see NASCAR.
Rocket League's pretty popular.
It
man.
is. This reminds
really
me though
popular.
of like when we had a freaking cartoon of NASCAR and stuff. Like,
no, geez,
who cares?
Yeah. This is I don't know. More people probably play Rocket League than iRacing. I would definitely. I would definitely bet that. So.
I would agree with you. I doubt that more people would run NASCAR.
It'd be kind of cool
Rocket
seeing
League.
NASCAR race cars in Rocket League. I'm gonna kind of gauge how many people actually did this. So we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. I'll let you know how it goes.
All right, sounds good. Jump around a little bit. We heard this week that we will have full attendance at Atlanta and the Pocono doubleheader. James, what do we think about this?
We are we back.
Yeah,
we are back.
I want your opinion on this because I know your thoughts on the COVID thing, and I know my thoughts on the COVID thing, and I guess I want to hear where you're going with this at this point.
Here's the thing, man. People can't be trusted. So if you're gonna,
Here's my thing, James. And I don't know, it's not like this necessarily in every state, but here in Michigan, if you want a vaccine, you can pretty much go get a vaccine. I can walk into Walgreens tomorrow and get a vaccine if I want to. And at that point, if you don't have the vaccine yet, whatever, take your damn mask off.
That's a good way of thinking about it.
I mean, if I got my vaccine, I'm good. I realize there's still a chance I can catch it. And I'm in a situation, as you are, where we have kids that can't get the vaccine. So there's still some risk there. But yeah, I'm kind of the mindset that, our governor here in Michigan, and say what you want, but we have a plan now going forward with the percentage of people that are vaccinated and when the state will open up. And it's optimistic until you start to think about the fact that we need 70% of the people to be vaccinated before we can open the state. And the realism of that actually happening is probably pretty low.
Yeah, I know.
It's just like, I mean, I'm being punished. I've been vaccinated. I'm done.
Yeah, I did my part too. Like, the problem
I'm wearing a mask going to my kid's soccer game this afternoon, when there's nobody within 20 feet of me, and I got to wear a mask because it's required there.
Yeah. My only issue with these types of things is I don't mind if people want to put themselves at risk.
Yeah.
The problem is they put themselves at risk, which then they take to other people.
Right.
And all of a sudden grandma is, maybe not, maybe grandma's vaccinated, maybe not. But she didn't go to that race.
That's true.
And that's always going to be my biggest issue with this thing, is the selfishness that's behind it.
But again, if you want to get vaccinated, you can
exactly you can get vaccinated, but I would just be like,
and by the time we get back to Atlanta, even by the time we get to Pocono, we're going to be far enough along in this, I think, to where
this is what we've been waiting for, man.
Yeah.
It's if these tracks are going to want to open up and the states are going to allow them to do it, don't stop them. If the state says you can open, then open. Darlington's got open garage this week. We got people coming in.
There you go.
So
except you have to be vaccinated to do that, unless you're a driver.
Well, follow the follow what the state and just do what the science says and get vaccinated and go to the racetrack. It'll be fun. It's more fun. It's more fun. We don't have to worry about it.
They are wrecking at Darlington right now. Virtual Darlington.
Wrecking all over the place.
We've already stretched this podcast out a bit, but let's talk about the All-Star format, James, because this was announced last week before we
God.
Or after
we're not going to read through it, are we?
No, because it's been a while. It's been a while since I've been in college. I don't know that I can do the math anymore. Let's just say we took the rules of the All-Star race. We took them, rolled them up into a ball, threw them into a blender, and
for every All-Star race ever,
sat on the button as long as we could, and came up with 6 stages, right? 6 rounds.
Yeah, totaling 100 laps.
Bunch of freaking inverts.
I like inverts. Yeah. I don't know. I don't understand when the inverts are going to be. I'm just going to watch this race and see who wins.
Yeah, I kind of thought our goal in the sport the last few years was to try and make it so the everyday non-NASCAR fan could understand what the hell was going on.
Well, we let Eddie Gossage get his hands on the All-Star race, so this is what we're going to get.
I mean,
I'm surprised there's not like a boxing match in the middle of the
right. They didn't install a loop-de-loop on the backstretch or anything like that, so I guess it could have been worse.
If you want to read the rules, go to our show notes and read the rules. And if you can understand it, send us a note on Twitter or whatever, or Facebook or whatever, and tell us that yes, I have my doctorate. I understand this, because God only knows what's going to happen with this thing.
Here's what you need to know, James. The final round will be a 10-lap shootout.
Love that.
Caution flag laps will not count.
That's good.
There will be a mandatory pit stop, and the fastest pit road or pit team, pit crew, whatever in the pit stop gets $100,000.
I like that.
And the winner of the race wins $1 million.
I like that too.
That's all you need to know.
There's going to be a start to the race, and someone's going to win it.
Oh, the other thing you need to know is that we're running the exact same setup car as we run all season long, except we're running the same tapered spacers that we run at Talladega and Daytona, in hopes of making this a more bunched up wreck fest than what it already would be.
Well, and here's another sneaky note. Texas sucks.
Yeah.
So we can't really do anything about that.
You know what sucks worse, though, James, at Texas? Is while the NASCAR race sucks at Texas, it really sucks when you drive an Indy car and you can only race on the bottom 20 feet of the track, because the PJ1 ruins the entire surface for the Indy car.
PJ1 soaked into the asphalt and completely ruined the IndyCar race.
Yeah, it was awful.
Completely ruined it.
You could not, if you got up in the PJ1, you were done.
They're gonna have to repave it.
Yeah,
if they want to run IndyCar there.
Yeah. Man, I wish they'd put more PJ1 down at Bristol, and we'd have to repave that sucker.
Well, they tried to ruin Bristol with dirt, so
yeah.
We might have to repave it anyway.
There you go. NASCAR All-Star Race Texas Edition, according to Texas Motor Speedway President and General Manager Eddie Gossage.
My God. Okay.
Yeah. Good. We're done with that.
Good.
James, this weekend is the throwback at Darlington. And I like what a lot of the teams did this year. We didn't announce paint schemes as much leading up to the race. We did it a lot this week.
Yeah, I like that.
And I like seeing them all come out at the same time. I didn't. You threw this in the notes, and I didn't have time to research ahead of time. But I don't need to.
I like winging it at you once in a while.
I don't need to a whole lot, because I think we're gonna agree.
I know who my winner is. We might agree.
Yeah. So I'm gonna give my actual winner, and then I'm gonna give my honorable mention, because there's another one that I really like.
I'll do that too.
And then I'll bounce on a couple more that I like as well. But okay, so the winner by far, first of all, anytime you can have the same number as the car.
Same
B,
font.
get the same sponsor as the original car.
Yep.
And then C, have the number font be correct.
Yeah, that's the big one.
Then you're going to win. And you can't beat the Spire Motorsports number 7 with Corey LaJoie and the Xerox Alan Kawicki throwback.
It's a beautiful car.
It is awesome.
They should just let him do it. Win or not, he should be allowed to do a Polish victory lap after the race.
Man.
Please.
Man, can Corey LaJoie win this race so he can do a Polish victory lap
in
the car from the shop that Alan Kawicki used to own?
Please. Oh, side by side with Chase Elliott. I'll even allow that.
God, that would be so spectacular.
That car is my winner. It's beautiful. There's no other car that comes close to it. Chase Elliott's Hooters car is really nice, though. It's just, unfortunately, he runs the 9. Chase could have won. But we've seen the Hooters throwback a couple of times, but that is a very nice car. But yeah, the 7, Corey LaJoie, Spire Motorsports, you win. Their 77 car is really nice too. They just don't have the Jasper sponsorship on it, but they've got some nice pieces that they're bringing. Corey LaJoie, dang, so it's beautiful.
My honorable mention is going to surprise you, because while it should be the one car in the Xfinity series, which is throwback to DW, which is a sweet looking car, the Gatorade car. My honorable mention actually is Ross Chastain's 42.
Yeah. You and me are in the same neighborhood, my man.
The old Hut Strickland paint scheme. It's so basic, but they did the number font right, despite the fact that it's not the 72 anymore.
Yeah, the 2 looks
or 27,
good.
27,
looks good.
Yeah, it's good, man. It's so awesome. And there's some good ones. I mean, the 02 truck will run the Ron Hornaday throwback, Hornaday, Kevin Harvick throwback with the Goodwrench scheme.
Yep, I was going to say that was my honorable mention. I'll take that one because I was going to say the number 1 Gatorade car for JR Motorsports as well, because that one's beautiful. But that 02 Goodwrench, I mean, beautiful.
Yeah. William Byron's throwback to Neil Bonnet, the Valvoline car, is pretty sweet as well.
Yep.
There's some good ones.
Yep.
We were disappointed. I'll tell you, Bubba Wallace, great throwback, but just misses the mark because they're running the normal font for the 23 with the Wendell Scott tribute. That's a pretty cool tribute, but ruins it with the font on the number, unfortunately. But again, there's some really good ones. I love this weekend. I absolutely love this weekend. And we were, there were some that were pretty bad leading up to it that, Martin Truex Jr., for example.
Oh, I know.
That kind of makes you lose faith in this, but then you get to see them. There's the Hardee's paint scheme too that's running. The old Hardee's paint scheme. So
Anthony Alfredo's car, I think is running. Yep,
you're right.
I was gonna say I want to shout out the Wood Brothers for not running a throwback, because they should be running throwbacks on the Southern 500 still,
right?
And they are going to do that. They actually said they're going to run a throwback in the fall.
Nice.
So I am so proud of them.
That's awesome.
Thank you for keeping it at the Southern 500.
Yeah, I'm really disappointed. I get that the Southern 500 has its own luster, but this should be, the Southern 500 is the classic race.
I know.
That should
they
be
screwed
the
it up.
throwback race. Yeah.
I know. It bothers me, but yeah.
All right, James, it's Darlington this weekend. And
we got 3 races.
Just for the record, who's leading in the picks now, James?
You beat me up last week. Austin Hill 46 to my Chandler Smith 26, and then I had food poisoning Joey Logano 20 points, and you had Denny Hamlin. So yeah, you about doubled me up, and you took the lead by
Barely.
a whopping 4 points. So I get to pick first.
889 to 885. James gets the first pick. Which is good because I have no freaking idea who I'm picking. I did not research in advance of this one, so I'm winging it. Truck race. It's the liftkitsforless.com 200. James, who are you going with?
I will take Mr. Sheldon Creed. I'll take Sheldon Creed. Yes, sir. I was going to take John Hunter, but we got Coda coming up, and I think I might like John Hunter for Coda.
I don't even remember who I picked last in the truck series. Oh, it was Austin Hill.
You picked Austin Hill. Yeah,
can't pick Austin Hill. Yep. Let me find truck series. Shoot, I'm going to go with the guy who's got to win here and just go with Ben Rhodes.
Ben Rhodes it is. Second time you've picked Ben Rhodes this year.
Yeah, I like Ben. He's also he's Noah Gragson-esque to me as well. You never know quite what you're going to get with him. So
yeah.
Xfinity
like
Series races this weekend as well. It is the Steakhouse Elite 200. James, who you got?
Give me Justin Allgaier.
Justin Allgaier.
He's got a good resume here. He's been racing here a long time. Now hasn't gotten a win over the last 10 races, but he's got a good resume here. So I will take Justin Allgaier. I think he can give me a solid day.
All right.
I was not allowed to pick Austin Cindric, by the way.
Yeah, who did I pick last in the Xfinity Series?
You picked Justin Haley. Yeah.
So I'm good there. I am going to go the Junior Motorsports route as well. And I'm going to go really out on a limb here. And I don't really know why I'm doing it. I'm not going with Noah Gragson, though, because I don't trust Noah Gragson. I'm going to say that old DW gets Michael Annett in Victory Lane.
Michael Annett. That's a good one. First time he's been picked this year.
Yeah. He's not one that you usually look at for winning, but I'm going for points here.
Yeah, points is the big thing. Points is definitely the big thing.
And then it is the Goodyear 400, right? 400? Yeah, Goodyear
400 miles. Yep, Goodyear 400.
On Sunday, Mother's Day at Darlington for the Cup Series. Who you got, James?
Well, we ran here 3 times last year. We had 2 different guys win. Don't quite trust Kevin Harvick just yet. So I will take Mr. Denny Hamlin to get off the schneid and get himself back in Victory Lane where he belongs. Denny Hamlin.
There you go. It's a good pick. Worked out because I couldn't pick him anyway. Because I picked him last week.
Yeah, you couldn't. Yep, you couldn't pick Denny.
You know, James, I'm going to agree with you, and I'm going to say that we're going to have, 12 winners and 12 winners and 13 races?
Yeah, you're going to get another one, eh?
I am going to go with Kevin Harvick to get off the slump.
Oh, you like that one. Well, to your point, to point against mine, there's no place like Darlington.
Right.
Like Darlington is a one of one. So if Kevin Harvick's going to stand out somewhere, it could be Darlington.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, you and I picked the 2 drivers that have the most wins here in
well, yeah, anybody. I mean, we ran here 3 times last year for a reason. So, for pandemic reasons. But man, coming back here in the spring just takes me back to when we came back last year, and it was so weird. We've gotten used to it now, but man, it was exciting to see cars back on the track, and it was Darlington that we came back to. So we've come around. Kind of puts a time frame on this pandemic a little bit, but
yeah. And we were racing during the week, and we were doing all kinds of crazy stuff.
Yeah, double headers. Yeah,
James, we did this crazy thing last year where we ran a race with no practice or qualifying.
Yeah, can you believe that?
What was that like? And now we do it all the time.
Jeez, yeah, I know. We've come a long way since our last spring Darlington. I guess it was summer Darlington at that point last year, but still, this time frame. We haven't run like a natural 2 races at Darlington in a long time.
No.
In the schedule, since 2004, but last year definitely special circumstances. We came back and got back to business. So
yep.
Glad we're still doing it. I mean, we've come a long way since then.
Yeah, and I mean, I was not thrilled with Atlanta getting a second date this year in the schedule, but you won't hear me complain about Darlington getting a second date. So
nope, I don't. Yep, I won't complain about that ever. More Darlington, the better. One of my favorite tracks.
I agree. Fantasy League update, James. I don't want to talk about it. How about you?
Oh my God.
I am still in second somehow.
Kyle Larson killed me on that last restart. I went from second all day, and then Ranger, listen, Ranger's the best. He is always up front. He's always winning. But Ranger, if you're listening to this, you got lucky this week, man. I think he knows it.
Yeah, I think
but
so.
Listen, Ranger's the best. He's the best at this thing.
He's got to be cheating, right?
I don't know. He found a way. I don't know how he did it. He was down all day, and he shot up to the number 1 at the end of the race. So he must have had all of his money on Kyle. I don't know. But, man, unbelievable. I couldn't believe Ranger got that win. He kicked everybody's butt. So, I don't know. So top 3, Ranger, Barron Speedway, our buddy Barron, and Bird 8U. I think somebody changed their name. I don't know who Bird 8U is, but Bird 8U was 3rd. Eric, we were 11th and 12th respectively.
Yeah.
Not great. Overall, you did say you were 2nd. That is true. Ranger extends his lead. Nobody's close. Eric, you're almost 200 points behind him.
That's
in
ridiculous.
2nd. And then Fast to the Grass, 3rd. And then Bird 8U 4th. And then I'm 5th. We are all bunched up from 3rd on back. Eric, you've got a little bit of separation. Not much, but you've got a little separation there. So you can hold your own and hang in on 2nd. You'll be just fine. You'll be just fine.
I'll take it.
Yep. Yeah, I don't think we're beating Ranger, but hey, 2nd's pretty good.
What you got for shout outs this week, James? Anybody?
Man, I'm trying to think. I mentioned last week we've got a special guest coming, so we don't need to do that. But I don't know. I don't think I have I'm trying to think of a specific shout out, but I don't think I have one. Yeah. I'll let you go. Let me think about it for a second. Do you have
I'm
one?
not going to help you much because I don't think I have one either.
No shout outs this week, man.
No, I don't think so. I'm looking back through my YouTube history and seeing if there's anybody that jumps out there, but not really, man.
I had JR Motorsports like one of my tweets this week. That was kind of cool. I don't think anybody at JR Motorsports listens, but
yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
hey, who knows? Yeah. Maybe we could end up on Dirty Mo Media.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. They need more. They need more of us,
right,
on their podcast network.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh my goodness, that's funny.
Come on, who the hell are those DBC guys and the Dale Jr.? Dale Jr. Who the heck's that? Come on,
right?
We can. Do
I
that.
know. Come on. Seriously.
All right. Anything else, James? Did we miss anything today?
Nope, that's it, man. I think we nailed it all. There was a lot.
Yeah, there was. Where can they find you on social media, James, if they want to hit you up during the week?
At James Cush on Twitter.
You can find me at TSuperspeedway on Twitter. You can find the podcast on Facebook at facebook.com/thesuperspeedway. If you want more of the podcast, you can find it at thesuperspeedway.com. You can find show notes, links, articles we discussed, past episodes, all kinds of fun stuff. You can check that out there. You can find the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play, Stitcher, and SoundCloud. A little disappointed with Apple Podcasts this week because they updated on iOS, and now it doesn't import the show in like immediately when it comes out.
Yep.
So I don't know. It sucks because usually, I mean, if you had iTunes or if you had Apple Podcasts, you could listen to the show like literally seconds after I posted it. And I was trying to refresh the thing all night, trying to get the link just to share it on Twitter, and I couldn't see it. So I think they're updating it this week because there were some other issues with the podcast app. So hopefully it's fixed and we won't have that problem anymore. But yeah, otherwise you can get it on Apple Podcasts eventually, and everywhere else is slow to get it too. So despite the fact that we're recording this on Wednesday night, who knows when people actually get to listen to it? It's usually up by the next morning. So
it was I saw it the next morning. It came through.
Yeah, there you go. Anyway, wherever you find us today, we hope you subscribe and continue to listen and join us next week as we will break down the Goodyear 400 at Darlington Speedway, Truck Series, Xfinity Series, Cup Series, all in action this Mother's Day weekend. There's a shout out for you. Shout out all the mothers this weekend that are going to be
Happy Mother's Day,
sitting in front of the TV on Sunday watching NASCAR just the way it should be, right?
Happy Mother's Day to your wife Kay.
Yeah,
and my wife.
Look at
Erin.
You give the shout out to my wife. You wanted to do that for her birthday, and you chickened out.
I know.
Now you're going to do it here.
I had to. Yeah, I know. That was a great post-show conversation, by the way.
Okay, just so you know, I was going to say it. James just cut me off. So
I did. I took my opportunity this time.
Yeah, exactly.
I put Kay first too, just to spite you, man.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. That was all for you, bud.
I hope your wife listens to the show, and I hope you're in the doghouse for this.
She doesn't. No. But I do have family members who do, who will get back to her.
I'll send her the audio clip.
That's fine.
All right, we'll be back next week to discuss Darlington, break it all down, and chat with you, preview the next race coming up on the schedule. And until then, everybody, let's go racing. Oh, I knew I was going to do that too. I knew I was going to do that, James, because I muted the audio.
No.
I muted the audio on the soundboard because I was playing. Because
you're watching iRacing and doing the podcast at the same time.
Yeah, and I knew I was going to forget to unmute it. Yeah. Now, let's go racing. What a freaking amateur.
That was so funny.